It seems like James Charles' makeup line isn't really working out the way he hoped it would. It's been 3 years since he announced that he was working on his very own cosmetics brand. Back in 2019, James did an interview where he said he finally had the concept down for his brand, stating, "I didn't want to do it before because I didn't have a solid concept. I didn't want to put out something that was ridiculous just to slap my name on it and get a few extra dollars in my bank account. I definitely won't be doing another palette anytime soon, but I do finally have a solid concept for a brand that hopefully will be something new in the market." But that was 3 years ago now, and it's safe to say a lot has changed. The beauty space on YouTube has changed, customer shopping habits with makeup have changed, and a lot of people think James missed his timing with his brand. Over these past few years, there's been so many times where James has come out and said that his brand was almost ready to go, but nothing would ever happen. If James had come out with something back in early 2019, he probably would have made millions by now. He was at the peak of his career. He hadn't really gone through any super serious drama yet.
I'm desperate.
And his views were at an all-time high. James used to get 10, 20 million views on every video, and now he's not even hitting 1 million most of the time. Now, don't get me wrong, his views are still really good. He's still making a very comfortable living, but dropping from something like 20 million views to 800,000 views is a huge change, and it has people wondering if that change will also be reflected in the sales of his products. Not only have people lost a little bit of interest in his channel, but makeup sales aren't what they were a few years ago. I feel like back in the 2016 to 2019 era, makeup was truly at an all-time high. There were new launches every week, beauty gurus were huge, and there was this urgency to buy all the releases out of fear of missing out. Obviously, the pandemic changed where we put our money massively. People were stuck inside, not going out to work or school, and makeup sales suffered because of that. Now, a lot of people can't even afford rent or food, so makeup is kind of the last thing that people are worried about affording right now. But despite all the obvious challenges ahead, James has still been teasing his brand and was in talks about launching it sometime this year. Now, we're quickly approaching the end of the year, which is just crazy to me. But James Charles' makeup brand doesn't seem like it's going to be in the cards for him this year. Last month, James was doing a Q&A, and someone asked him when his brand was coming, and this is what he had to say. "My goal was holiday of this year, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen because I'm a perfectionist and didn't get my formula approved in time. My lab was ready to kill me, but it's officially done now, so we're full steam ahead, which is amazing. Lots of lessons learned for future launches. I'm not happy about it, but I'd rather take my time and make sure everything is perfect. And honestly, the first launch makes more sense for spring anyway." And another fan asked him if he had any regrets on not launching his brand sooner, and James responded saying he would probably be a billionaire by now. He wrote, "Honestly, yes and no. If I launched this makeup line in 2018, I'd probably be a billionaire right now, and I'm not going to pretend like that doesn't make me sad. On the other hand, at the time, I didn't have a strong idea for the brand I wanted to own. Years later, although the industry isn't as popping as it once was, I've taken my time and I'm now really proud of the brand identity, packaging, and products I've been able to create, and that means more to me than money." So, according to James, if he had launched his brand back in 2018, he would have been a billionaire by now, which means he thinks his company would have done as good, if not better, than Kylie Cosmetics has done. Yeah. Anyways, James is starting to prepare for his spring 2023 launch, and he's been asking for advice from his followers on TikTok. He created a new TikTok account just for his makeup, and he asked people what they wanted from his makeup brand. He said although his first product is already done and ready to go, he still wanted to get people's advice and get a head start on future products.
Help me make a product for my makeup line. My first product is done and is launching in the beginning of 2023. Until then though, I wanted to get a head start on a bunch of other products. Instead of kind of making it a big secret, I wanted to take you behind the scenes and show you guys the lab samples that I've been working on and get your thoughts and feedback in real time so your opinions can actually affect the final product.
So James revealed that the next product he'd be working on is a blush, and he showed us a failed sample from his lab.
One product that I would love to get your guys' feedback on is blush. I posted a poll on my Instagram stories a couple of months ago asking people if they liked cream, liquid, or powder blushes best. And I was pretty surprised that powder and cream actually won by a landslide. So I designed a mock-up in Photoshop of what I wanted the blush packaging to look like, as well as a bunch of different colors, and I sent it over to the lab. A couple of weeks later, I received this back in the mail. As you can see, a couple came cracked, and I don't mind showing you guys these either because unfortunately, the lab did not do the best of jobs at bringing the colors I designed to life. This is just really the first round. We're gonna try it out and see how the actual formula is because that's really the most important part.
He also talked about how fast the makeup industry changes every day and how fast trends come and go, and how it's kind of made this process extra hard for him.
For me personally, I prefer a little bit more pigmented than this, but obviously not like crazy. It's not giving, it's not. Let me try a more vibrant color. Let me do like this kind of strawberry color down here. Oh, see, now that's a little too pigmented, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and set it in place and try the powders. When it comes to the packaging, originally I envisioned these being duos where it's like one component, but you get a cream and a powder formula in the same little thing. But I've recently been thinking like so many brands have released blush duos already. And by the time that this launches, will cream blush even like be a trend anymore? Will we be on to like gel blush, spray blush? Ooh, no.
After James tried out both the cream and powder blush, he asked people to leave their thoughts and opinions down below in the comments so he could make the best product possible. And that's exactly what people did. One person said, maybe a nice empty palette, then you could buy singles/inserts, so people can choose if they want creams, powder, mix and match. But James didn't really seem to like that idea, and he replied writing, this seems so great in theory, but the typical consumer wants easy, and this makes shopping pretty complicated. Another person said, I think it would be cool if you could buy the duo cream and powder blush, but have them removable so we can customize our own blush duo. And James said, oh, this is interesting. My packaging idea would no longer work with this, but def something to consider. And other people had comments about his relationship with his lab. One person said, I love that you actually aren't afraid to critique the lab samples and actually care about the final product versus a quick cash grab. And James said, oh girl, absolutely. These labs hate me already for making so many changes. Another person wasn't exactly a huge fan of the lab samples, and they said, cancel any deal with that factory. And James defended his lab and said, labs never get it right on the first try. It usually takes 2 to 5 rounds of redirects and notes to get a final product. My first product took 20 plus. Fans also showed concern for him getting hate on his products just because people don't like him. Someone wrote, I'm so nervous for you, bestie. People try to find any way to cancel you. I'm scared they're gonna make bad reviews just because it's James Charles' brand. And James said, I'm sure. I don't like James Charles, but this product is amazing, is what I'm hoping for. James ended up coming back to his makeup TikTok a few weeks later, and he asked for advice on how he can stand out compared to other brands.
And I'm so glad that you guys are excited about being able to be a part of the behind the scenes process, which brings me to this video because I have another question for you. The brand will be launching in the beginning of 2023, which means it's coming up soon. And one thing that's on my mind constantly is my launch strategy, which to be honest, I do not have locked in yet. I have a couple of ideas, but I really wanted to ask you guys as the consumers and as the audience, what could a new brand do to grab your attention? Like, what would be something that would make you stop in your tracks and make you be like, oh shit, like, what are they doing? That's so cool. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's a photo shoot, whether it's some type of content, I'm open to hearing everything. I feel like the makeup industry is so oversaturated, and at this point, I'm just tired of seeing like the slay videos with the perfect models wearing the product, which I've done before. So like, I'm not saying that in a shady way, but like, what do you guys think?
I really think James is probably starting to feel the pressure with this launch, and he's probably afraid that he's gonna sink all this money into his brand, and it might not do as good as he's probably hoping. Whenever an influencer releases makeup, there's always people who think it's already been done, it's boring, and it's overpriced. Since James has left this so long now, there's really nothing new for him to do. All he can hope is that he has a really good formula, and that makes him stand out from other brands. Makeup is such a huge competition. Every influencer, TikTok, celebrity, already has their brands that have been established now for years, so it's definitely going to be hard for him to stand out, and that's why he's asking people, what can I do to make you want to buy this? Yeah, James might not do as good as he would have back in 2018, but clearly he still has a decent following. He still has fans who are taking time out of their day to give him advice, so I'm sure he's gonna have some kind of success with his brand, maybe just not as much as he would have a few years ago. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. Do you think James will still sell out and do great with his brand? Or do you think it's too late and he's missed his timing on this? Let me know, and I'll see you next time.